Just a clarification, we personally do not believe, we don't perceive the Kenny Beach mystery to be a mystery. There are some stuff in history that's pretty interesting. The disappearance of Frederick Valentik, a young Australian pilot who disappeared on their flight towards this island. Disappeared. There's a flight transcript. That's something that's really interesting. And another one. We might pronounce this right, but Calores. There's a city in Brazil. The Brazilian Air Force. The military staff. They drew diagrams of what essentially in pop culture can only be described as something that looks like flying saucers. They drew detailed diagrams of those things. It's hard to find now, but the military investigated that. These are military personnel. They got jobs, they got careers, they got families to feed. We take the testimony of career military personnel a lot higher than conspiracy theorists because the folks in the Air Force, they got a career, they have a job, they have a family, they have a career to mind. They're not just out doing their own thing. The hell with anything and anyone. Because they drew these diagrams, they gave their testimony. That has a lot of credibility. They're gonna put their career, their bread and butter, and their families online. That's something that has a lot more credibility from our perspective. But anyway, we want to get back on point on something here. Some people say, basically whether the question, has anyone been hit with a directed energy weapon? We know some people who've been out in the same area, they felt unease, they felt nausea. We don't question that. We're going to testify right now, right here, what our experience is. We have only felt peace and bliss upon this mountain range. We have never once felt nauseous. We kind of felt our knees and hips and joints crumbling, just like we felt depleted. Once we got back to our car, tried to hobble out, we felt fine on the drive, but the moment we got to Smith to buy, we got to this market, Smith, to load up on some wine, we basically stumbled out of the car. Legs gave out. Well, it didn't really give out, but it felt like we could only move 1 inch per, but we never felt any type of unease at this range at any time. At any time. The only time we felt unease is back in the day, where we felt the greatest unease. We had this, you had to show up to the state courthouse, state capitol, listen to the prosecutor stand up, testify, and then we had our defense. Basically, we have to win this. Basically, so the stuff we did in our past lives. Back in our past lives, we went maniacal, and so those things you do in your past lives, physical altercations, that stuff, once you're in a courthouse, state capitol, that made us feel slight unease. But anywhere on this sheep range, we have never felt any sort of unease at all, not at all.